And just like that,
Just like that.
LT, we back again, man.
Strap. Yeah, we in here.
Yeah, man, how you been?
Oh, man, I've been Gucci, man. Doing great.
Doing great.
Oh, yeah.
Saving the world, running around, the busiest person I know. Your phone stays hot.
It do.
Every time I'm trying to like get a hold of you, I'm like, dude, like you're just elusive, man. I have to like near damn send a bat signal somewhere in the sky, or for you to.
You gotta filter through a lot, man. Filter through a lot, man.
I respect it. That's why I respect the time that you put in to come out here and and vibe with us.
Appreciate you, man. You a family man too, man. You got priorities, so
yeah.
We gotta wiggle it in there.
Absolutely. So, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, Fight fans all over the world, we're doing a first for our show, and this is episode 8, right?
Something like that.
We, together with the internet, have a special guest. Ladies and gentlemen, we have Texas's very own Kam Gee. What's up, Kam?
Yo, what's up, my brother? Thanks for having me.
Absolutely, man. It's a pleasure having you on our show.
Yeah, man.
So, Kam, do you mind sharing with the audience, the listenership, what do you do and what makes you just a guest for this Who's Fighting show? I mean, share with the people your credentials.
Yeah, so I like I told you before, I like to think of myself as an ambassador for boxing. Someone that's teaching the sport, sharing the sport, so people can maybe go watch it, maybe go compete, especially younger athletes. So I spend a lot of time training all levels of people, and I've been doing this about 11 years now. And started it out with starting a boxing club after I played football in college with my homeboy James Jones. Shout out to James.
Shout out to James.
Yeah, James Jones. And then Earl Gibbons who was a professional out of Wichita, Kansas. He taught me. And I feel like he taught me really, gave me a lot of knowledge to really go out here and share it, So, and that's what I've been doing. So, and I'm having fun with it.
Salute to JJ and Earl. I remember just a quick history and how I know Kam is. We went to the same college, and just being in that same area or the same vicinity, you tend to pick out people that share a little bit of your same passions. And I used to see Kam. I think he was working with Earl that time in the school rec, and they had like a designated space where they would work on the heavy bag and just literally stick to fundamentals. And most people that come to just box, and you see them, everything looks pretty with the mitts, everything looks good with the bag, but I would see these guys with like resistance bands and just working on footwork and turning and pivoting and moving, and I'm like, wow. And now later on that I got deeper into the sport, I understand the foundation of the footwork, and you could expand on that a little bit more as a trainer. How big is that?
Yeah, so when I start out with somebody that's fresh, like we spend almost that whole first workout going over footwork, and I really just kind of changed it recently just to make it more fun for my clients to kind of throw in some punches, because if I was going to be, bringing up a real fighter, we would spend, a while without throwing punches, because I think it's just that important. You can utilize the skill sets that are, in you naturally to throw punches, but the footwork really has to be drilled into its second nature. So I believe in that wholeheartedly. So footwork.
Yeah. So LT, you have any questions?
Man, what's your genesis, man? Where you from? Like,
so I'm from Dallas, Texas. So I went to DeSoto High School out here. Shout out to DeSoto. And then I went to college out there at Emporia State in Kansas and played football out there. And that's how I actually got into boxing. I actually was miserable playing or not playing, I guess you would say. And that's really what turned me into boxing. So I just brought that back to Texas with me and trained at some gyms out here, and now just doing a little freelance and stuff. So yeah, I'm back in Dallas right now.
Cool.
Yeah, Kam, I have a question for you. Lately, my girl got me a Apple Watch that kind of counts my movements and my calories.
Yeah.
And I won't lie to you, boxing is like a cheat code.
Yeah,
I don't know.
sure.
Like whenever I'm using it as an exercise, I can run my 3 miles and burn maybe a cool 5 to like 600. But if I'm boxing for like 30 minutes, it burns more. Like how, as a trainer and an advocate for boxing, especially now that we're getting older, that stress on the knees, stress on the shins, running, you can't just be doing that to your body and tearing it like that. As a trainer, like just explain more on how boxing can be good for you, because you're not putting so much pressure on your hips and your knees if you're trying to lose weight or stay in shape.
So I can speak for myself, because I was a really big weightlifter when I was competing in football, and then as I transitioned to boxing, I've done more body weight resistance, some things you saw I was doing when I started out. And it's really taking a lot of pressure off my joints, off my shoulders, off my knees. And then one thing that people don't really consider is the flexibility in our ankles. Like, we really don't bend our ankles in our everyday life. And you need, it's made, you can make a full circle with it. It needs to be moved. It's, you need to oil those joints, so to speak. Right. So, the jump rope and the footwork and all that stuff, you're getting that in boxing. Your knees aren't bent all the way. There's a slight knee bend, and that's helping you out. You're turning your hips, you're turning your core, you're moving your shoulders in there. You can do a shadow boxing workout and not put any weight on you and burn, a ton of calories and get a great workout in. Like, it's been many days where I go shadow box for 40 minutes and I'm drenched in sweat and I'm tired, and I needed that just to take the tension off of my knees, shoulders, whatever it may be. So I really recommend it for people that are trying to switch it up, maybe don't want to put so much pressure on a certain part of the body. You can use boxing to pivot, pun intended,
right,
to something else, and
right.
It's overall just a good feeling, man. I've never felt better. Like, doing everything else with boxing, you just feel accomplished. It's tough.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
it's tough.
It is.
And that's on a training aspect, but you're talking about with these professionals we talk about, but even just to train, it's tough. It's tough.
Yeah, I mean, and even just for the casual, what they call it, leisure boxer who's trying to just, hit the, just to burn something. Would you categorize just casual boxing training as a heat type of workout, like a high intensity interval type? Because if you're doing combinations, jump rope, like back and forth, was it categorized because of its? I don't know. I'm not a trainer, so I'm just trying to figure out so I can know how to, punch in my, training stuff on my watch.
Yeah, it's definitely a hit style workout. That was another phrase that's funny you brought that up, because I was just doing some research on it. I don't think I have it pulled up right now, but that's neither here nor there. But definitely, definitely a hit style workout. But in boxing, we spend a little more time in our I guess your red zone, where your heart rate is near its maximum capacity. And sometimes doctors recommend against that, but you can't avoid it in boxing. You have to hit that zone to be able to be stronger for the next encounter.
Right.
So those guys that got really high work rates, their engines are a little bigger. They've pushed their red zone, for a good amount of time. So definitely is a hit style workout, with more emphasis on pushing towards that red zone, which is like 80-90% of your maximum heart rate.
Yeah, I used to have a friend of mine that is heavy in the boxing world. Jimmy. I don't remember his last name, but I just know him as Jimmy. I was gonna say hello, but he's not his name. That's another Jimmy. But Jimmy, back in the day, was heavy into boxing, and his whole idea of boxing is when you're working out as a boxer, it's you versus you, literally. It's just you are defeating yourself. So he put it in a way that you're gonna you have to hit the wall. You have to hit, if you're hitting the bag, you're gonna hit the bag till your hands are like, I don't even have the same humph. I don't even have the same, whip to my punch. I don't even have, and he literally said it's literally tearing you down. and it disciplines you because it shows you that the first time you're in there, 3 minutes is a long time.
Right.
1 minute is a long time, and in day-to-day life, just 1 minute, I could do that for 1 minute. Okay, go hit that.
I think so.
go for a real light sparring, like 60% for 1 minute, and even just the movement and the adrenaline, you'll be tired. Mm-hmm. So he used to always he used to just always let me know. And that time I was not even boxing, but he would tell me that it's a mental sport. It's really you versus you.
Let me ask you this. I need a quick rundown. Who is some of your favorite fighters?
Like right now?
All time.
Oh, all time. That's a great question, because I got a lot of. Okay, I'm gonna try to go old to new. So I like Willie Pep.
Oh,
Willie Pep is like master defense, master footwork, like so far ahead of his time. Jersey Joe Walcott, heavyweight. Mm-hmm. Also something similar to that. You got, I mentioned Archie Moore.
Moore.
Yeah, like get real technical. He does like the cross style defense. I think he had the most knockouts of all time. I think that's Archie Moore. Yeah. George Foreman, of course, Muhammad Ali, Sugar Ray Robinson, Marvin Hagler. I love Marvin Hagler. Probably
War.
Yeah, Marvin Hagler. I try to mimic his intensity.
Sorry.
Like when I go train, I try to I'm Marvin Hagler, cause that dude was not. Nah, he is going through a brick wall every time. Unrelenting.
Yeah.
Then you get more modern. I was a real big Rigondeaux fan. Really liked his footwork in his amateur career. I'm from Dallas, so Earl Spence. I like Crawford. I like both of those guys. Mm-hmm. But if I'm gonna narrow that huge list down, it's gonna be Sugar Ray Robinson and Marvin Hagler.
Okay.
Yeah.
See, Marvelous Marvin. I was gonna say, because I said War, and I thought I know for a fact, because Marvin Hagler is also on my top 5, right? And for some reason I thought that was Hearns, and I remembered I had to just catch myself. I'm like, you're right, it's Marvin. There's that famous video of him running in the snow. Remember that? Mm-hmm. And he's yelling War, and he was just intimidating, bro.
Boy,
just intimidating. Intense.
Yeah.
I've never seen anybody more intense than that dude.
And he was always ready. He was always ready to fight. Like he came in tip top shape. Like it was not a game. And I really, rest in peace. I really respect that. And we fighting
consummate professional.
I was like, wow.
Yeah.
So,
Kam Gee, you want to be part of this next session, which is a segment right here where we talk about what happened last weekend or last fight weekend.
I'm here. I'm here.
All right, so let's go with the big one first.
All right.
Let's talk about Jorge Linares versus our guy, David Haney. I would like to say friend of the show, even though he's never been here, but we talk about him and that crop of lightweights.
Future of the sport.
Yeah. Future of the sport. Hey, I'll keep my thoughts for last, because I think people will call me a fanboy for that group, but let's LT man lead it off, and then Cam, let's go.
All right, okay. So Haney won by unanimous decision for WBC lightweight title. So I'll start by saying I think he kind of took a step up as far as his offensive work goes. I like the work that he was putting in the body. The jab is always solid. He's got a fast jab, got some real good snap to it. There's some work left to be done on the defensive end. Up until now, all of Linares' fights have ended, all of his losses ended in KO up until now. This is going to be my knock. Go back one fight, Haney wasn't able to put Gamboa away either. So does that create questions about his power?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, because you fight an older, respected, not to say to diminish him at any means, but you fight an older fighter at that point in his career, you expect the younger guy, 22 years old, to really, go in on him, really show that force. But at the same time, he put on a good show. It's just, I think you just have the expectation from someone like him, and they may not be who he is. Because like you said, the jab was great. The jab was great.
Probably best in the game.
Yeah,
probably one of the best jabs in the game.
Yeah, it was a really great jab display he showed. But then when he got hurt, that was kind of troubling for me because I'm like, well, when you get in here with Lopez or Lomachenko, you're potentially be hurt early in the fight. Yeah. And are you able to recover from that? So I guess that's just a question mark because I really like him. I like his style. But I don't really see the power. I think it's maybe more like a natural thing as far as him because I think he didn't cut. I don't think Linares has a history of getting cut. I don't think he got cut that fight either.
Yeah, he has thick cartilage on his sides. He
got beat up with it.
Yeah, he got beat up.
You want to make them, make them who they are.
Right.
Make them cut. Give yourself an advantage. But I mean, we're just nitpicking, or at least I am. But it's just it was a good show though.
I mean, but you kind of got to because we judged them against this great class, and we want to know where we want to rank them.
Yeah,
I mean, really, like Do we? Okay, I know your answer to this. Do we consider Ryan Garcia in that crop, in the lightweight, or he's not proven?
I'll let our guest go first.
I think he has the ability to be so. I mean, he's definitely been postured the right way. Which is, I mean, boxing it's a big show. It's like wrestling,
right? Yeah.
So he's been propped up, but at the same time, you can look and see. We can look and see. Sometimes, you can't really account for speed and timing.
Yeah.
Or was it timing beat speed? But what if you got timing and speed? What can you do? Even with his lack of head movement.
Yeah.
So
he doesn't.
I mean, he still needs to fight somebody. I watched that last one against the British guy, Luke Campbell. But that I guess that's yet to be seen, but I think you can see it. You see the speed, you see the power. I think that gives him a chance.
Yeah.
That gives him a chance.
Yeah.
For sure.
So my take on Haney Linares, I knew it was going to be a test because we know Linares is going to push. He's going to fight like how he fights.
Yeah.
He's unlike. The thing is, if we want to talk about Gamboa. What Tank did to Gamboa is not what people do to Gamboa most of the time. We have to know that he's aging and he's an elite. Like Gamboa is elite. And that's the knock that they were kidding Haney with. Like you see what Tank did to Gamboa and he took you for the 12. But to my eyes, I thought Haney picked Gamboa apart. Like he broke his spirit kind of. Even though you lost unanimously, but it was more of a masterclass type of thing, right? The way he fought Linares till like let's say the 10th round. The 10th round.
When he got stung,
I think he won he won all of them. He was
just about
from the beginning to the end. He was working that jab so beautiful. He was combination after combination, and something he showed me in that fight that I've never seen him is working the inside like how he worked the inside.
Right.
I know he's very good at distance fighting. He's a lot longer than what people think. He has really long arms, and that's one thing that when was it Floyd that used him to spar while getting ready for forgot which fighter, but Floyd used to use him a lot.
He was in the camp for sure.
He was in the camp, and because he's small, but he has long arms, and he knows how to use that jab. That's why his jab is so good in that division is his length. But he fought inside, and I'm like, are you serious? You know what Linares is like?
The short check.
And
for the short check all night.
He did get caught. He looked wobbly. He smiled it off. And then, of course, 11 and 12, he was hugging a little bit. But to me, I thought...
say a lot.
A lot. Yeah, at least 2 out of the 3 minutes. But he did what he had to do to survive.
And that's to my point is like, when you put him up against the other top-notch competition.
Right.
There's potential to be hurt in those championship style fights. He's just not gonna. Even with he had really good defense, and Linares is just really experienced. Found a way through.
Right.
I mean, I don't know, man. I don't know. It was like I said, it was a good show. Good show for sure.
It was a good show. Do we want to move on to the next?
Yeah, let's go.
let's talk about Nonito versus I don't know how to say the Filipino boxer's name, but I'll say Nordina. No, I won't butcher it, but he Nonito won that by KO. I missed that. I didn't watch that. I think that was on PBC. I was on the zone, but
so
did you catch that?
Did you catch that?
Yeah, I caught it. I actually watched it today, actually.
Right. So
And,
I'm gonna give a quick run through before we go through that.
Yeah.
To me, it looks like that was kind of a setup fight. Like the Nordine, he's got a few. Well, he had 18 total fights, so it looks like they were trying to build him up real quick. Cause that's And then Nordine's got like close to 50. So that's there's one of those guys that try to rush through there. But go ahead, jump in there.
Right. Yeah, he had he's coming in at 17-0, and looked like he fought one of the Inoue. I can't see one of the Japanese fighters. He got a brother.
Yeah.
But and beat that guy. But he actually didn't look like stylistically didn't look bad, man. The Nonito just beat the crap out of that dude. Like I was like, damn.
Is it a new crop of like Filipino fighters, like from the Manny Pacquiao? Because I know the Japanese fighters are starting to get ranked.
Yeah, right. The
Japanese fighters are coming up.
Yeah, man. I can't say I always mess up his name. Inoue he's excellent, bro. He's excellent. But on Donito was like 38, and then Manny's 42. Yeah. So I don't know if it's something with the diet or just the passion to fight, but to fight at that age is crazy. And he put a beating on dude. So I mean, damn, I was impressed. Just when you just maul somebody, when you just plow over them, it's like you gotta take notice of that.
He got sunned.
Yeah.
Exactly. So I was surprised to see that for sure.
All right. Now we're gonna transition to our next week. But for now, let's take a little break, and we'll be back with the next half of our show. And we're back again.
Yay.
So we were transitioning to the next half of our show when we talk about what's going to be happening.
Hey.
So LT?
Yeah.
Kam Gee?
Yo.
Who's fighting?
So we're looking at UFC Jair Rozenstruik versus Augusto Saki.
Rozenstruik, a legend from K1. He's from the Netherlands. I think it's Surrey. Is it called Surrey? That the Netherlands country that all the black people are from, like Surrey, Suriname. I don't know how to say it, but Suriname. He's a kickboxing legend. Got clipped by Francis Ngannou pretty bad because he was talking crap. I mean, this is like one of those fights you don't have to pay for. It's gonna be on ESPN Plus.
Well, you gotta subscribe to that.
You do have to subscribe to that.
Man, forgive me.
But yeah, I'll give it to Rozenstruik. I've not seen Augusto fight, so I'll give it to Rozenstruik. I mean, he's a legit heavyweight. Top 10, I think, in the heavyweight. So I'll give it to Rozenstruik. What do you guys think?
Oh man, I'm looking at finishes from Rozenstruik.
He's a legend.
I'm liking what I'm seeing. Striking ability.
It's hard to bet against that.
Yeah. He's a legit like 6'4", 200 and I think his walking weight is like 260.
That's
he
a
has
big
to
dude.
slim down to like, I think his fighting weight maybe like a 245.
All right. Okay, so you're right. So he's Surinamese. 6'2", 255. So you pretty on point.
Yeah.
78-inch reach.
He's a big guy. He's a big guy, and he has, for a big guy who's that limber with it, like he could kick. It's always amuses me. Yeah, it always moves me. I mean, amuses me when you see a big dude being able to kick your head off. But yeah, I mean, we all go with Rozenstruik.
Yeah, that's just a safe bet.
Bet. My other guy looking real. I don't know. You getting a very novice opinion right here. I'm gonna go Rozenstruik.
All right. Usually we look back sometimes for what we decided. Like I know with like Lanierez and Haney, we knew who was going to do that. But like, I mean, seldomly do we disagree on what we pick.
Right.
But this one here is going to be interesting. You know, we're going to talk about the style bender, Israel Adesanya versus Marvin Vittori, Italy's very own. You already know who I'm gonna say, so let's skip strap.
We touched on this a little while back, man. We seen him go up in weight, which it
didn't translate.
It didn't translate. It's a lesson learned. He was dominated on the mat per se, so he coming back for the get back.
Yeah, but if the last time, this is the second time they fight. The last time they fought, Vittori kept him on the mat, and I think he was the first guy who exposed that vulnerability to his wrestling skills because Adesanya is a very elite striker. So, you know, like we always have these conversations. Wrestlers transition good to striking, but strikers don't like wrestling.
It's the pinpoint, man. It's just pinpoint accuracy.
Yeah,
you know.
If he keeps that distance, he's long enough, he's strong enough to keep that distance and avoid takedowns. I mean, I would say my take. I think it's going to be a knockout in the third round of a five round championship.
Kam Gee?
Yeah, I like my guy. If he takedown defense is one of the one I do know, y'all rundown. But if he can maintain just his advantage. Which is, you know, striking, staying on his feet. It should be a dub for him, for sure.
I'm gonna give you this unique perspective. I think he's such a prideful guy that since he took his L that way, he's gonna try to prove something.
I can see that too. I can see that, but they might not be a smart move.
If he pulls a submission, if he submits, dude, I was like, okay, hey man, I didn't expect that, but
right.
You know, what's that? A lion doesn't lose its stripes or some stuff like that. You know, you are who you are. You wash a lion's stripe. I mean, not a tiger. Sorry, doesn't lose its stripes even though it goes through like a ringer of washing and stuff. But anyways, that's neither here or there. Let's go into Bellator. Douglas Lima versus Yaroslav Asmov. You know, I'm dyslexic. I'm not gonna say it, but
bro, it really is a tongue twister. It's like Yaroslav. Yeah, it's a real life tongue twister. Yeah,
sounds like an insult.
I mean, we'll go to our Bellator pundit over here.
So, all right, you know so Yaroslav has a win over one of my personal favorites, one of the Bellator greats, David Rickles, in submission in Bellator 225. That's back in 2019. That was in Bridgeport, Connecticut. He's 25-0, right? Douglas Lima's got a couple. Well, he's got a few L's. He's got 40 matches overall, 32-8, and he's coming off of a unanimous decision loss against Gerard Musai. But I mean, it's kind of a toss up because he's got the win.
Yeah,
Lima's is the one who's got the win over MVP.
Yeah,
with the KO.
Yeah.
So if I had to pick, I'm going to take Lima off the strength of that.
I would say, just using my minimum knowledge of fight psychology, is there's something to defend when you have a 0. There's a little. I mean, it's like your Achilles heel. It's something that you can defend or something that you're just nervous that the guy who has got over with the loss is now calm and relaxed. And I think fighting is a calm man's sport. It's a relaxed man's sport. It's a thinking man's sport. But I think the dog is the person that really wants to save that 0. So I'll go with Yaroslav.
Okay.
To pull that one off.
Kam Gee.
Yeah, I'm just kind of just doing some surface level stuff. I'm liking Yaroslav. I like his movement. I like his I think he got the right physique too. Yeah, I'm liking that. I'm a soft.
And then I'm gonna give y'all a quick. He's pretty balanced. When you look at his 25 matches, 9 by knockout, 10 by submission, 6 by decision. So he doesn't really have an identity per se.
Right. There's something to say about people that just knock out people. Like that shows that you are vulnerable because you've not seen the deeper waters of, like it scares me. Like when you talk about, and I'm sorry, this is like a random tangent, but like you talk about Shannon the Cannon, most first round knockouts, but like psychologically, if you could he comes in hot, if you could take that,
right?
I mean, you kind of like mentally have played him in a place where now let's see what you can do when your best is taken out of you. So, yeah, that's a good assessment, man. So, I mean, having that balance of wins, that's good.
I might have to eat.
He looks like a balanced fighter. Just checking him out. I mean,
I might have to eat my words. Come back next week, but hey,
stick with Lima. All right, this is where the bell rings. We're going into boxing.
Ooh, I'm excited about this one.
Okay, we have Brogdon Dimu versus Daniel Dubois. Fellas, let's talk about it.
This is kind of Kam Gee's wheelhouse, man.
All right.
Yeah. I'm looking for Dubois to come in and really improve on that showing he did on the last one where he had to take the knee for the eye injury. Yeah, and he just did not look good to me during that fight. Fighting Big Joe Joyce.
Yeah,
he just did not look like a contender. Like he looked like a professional, no doubt. But as far as ascending to that level, and sometimes I think the UK fight media like hypes up their fighters in such a way where we're like, oh, he's this, he's that. But in reality, he's just a good fighter. But maybe not that elite. So I want to see him like just wipe this dude off. The new like because that's how he was advertised. But it might be one of those things where it just turns into a heavyweight fight where one punch could do you in.
If we keeping it a buck though, everything that the UK putting out right now is killing this side of the pond in the heavyweight division.
In the heavyweight division, yes, and that's where it's at. That's definitely.
I mean, it's been
that's just keeping it a buck.
Even when I was a kid, I mean, would we count Lennox as a Canadian or a British fighter? I don't know.
Nah,
we talk about Frank Bruno.
I'm gonna let.
Yeah.
They've always had some good fighters that moved over and did something, and were champions. It's just the problem is this. Like he said, they are the hype train. They're worse than the hype work that a Don King would do. They really, I mean, with the exception of Eddie Hearns, who's a good manager and promoter, their fighters are rock stars, man. They're selling out Wembley. They're doing stuff that none of our top 3 heavyweights can do.
I mean, what does that say? Is it are they a hype train or are they just good promoters?
It's a fighting culture.
Are they just better promoters? They might just be better promoters over there.
Okay, it's okay. Forgive me. This is it's not culture sensitive, but I would say they're the Mexico of the world. Like outside Mexico, the way Mexico sprouts their fighters, and everyone fills up that stadium when on Cinco de Mayo. That's them for the heavyweights.
We're gonna save the rest of that conversation for a later date. I need your pick on this and your assessment.
I'll go with Double D. I'll go with Daniel Dubois. Dust off that L. He's gonna win in impeccable fashion. He's gonna knock out dude, and he's gonna be back into the conversation of a highly ranked young prospect.
All right, I'm gonna save mine for last because of this. So I have an interesting perspective because I actually seen Bogdan Dinu fight here at the casino.
You fought Baby Miller?
Exactly. Historically, this was the fight. He lost to Jarrell Miller. And I'll go back and I'll say, remember I was telling you this. I'm watching the fight and I'm like, what is Jarrell doing? I don't know if it's 4 or 5 rounds. And I'm like, what is he doing? I said, the body is wide open. And there's a lady that I was sitting pretty close. There's a lady in his corner, middle-aged lady. And she stands up and she goes, go to the body. And then Jarrell throws his hook to the body, and I swear it sounded like a medicine ball when you slam a medicine ball into a wall.
Oh, that's the worst.
And this was the setup. After that, this was the setup for he was supposed to fight AJ.
Yeah.
Before the doping thing.
But so I say all that to say this: the boat did go to the body. He leave that body exposed. Go to the body. If he can,
do the
if
Roy
he can
Jones brand body head. Is it no? Yeah, body head. That was that was his thing. Body head bangers. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
If he can do some work on the
still.
Yeah, body head.
man, if he can do some work on the inside, he got a shot. My man's is 6'5" though, so if he working that jab, DeBow is also 6'5".
Yeah, some big
78-inch reach.
He don't have really of a big reach for 6'5" though, DeBow. His hands a little stocky. I mean, I may be wrong.
He's more like a compact style.
Yeah,
fighter,
he's not like a 6'5" with a 7-something. 7'3".
Yeah.
These are interesting cats because, like, for old dogs, they only got like 20 fights on their records.
DeBow is like 21. How old is he? 22.
Yeah, the boy is a young cat.
He's the young one out of there.
23.
Okay, yeah. So they got about 10 years apart.
I did, you know, like, we talked about it last time. I think our first episode is longevity or shelf life for heavyweight versus a smaller fighter. I think heavyweights get better as they age, while smaller fighters, they rely on their speed that when they get to the 30s, they get caught by the young lion because young lions are that's why Pacquiao is like a specimen that should be kept in a museum or draw his blood and see what he's doing at 40 something, moving like
42
that.
42 years old.
Yeah. So that's why I think he's safe, man. Like, you know, you don't become, when would you say heavyweight's prime is? 30? 30?
Yeah, it's a little later than, you know, like a light heavy or even middleweight, especially welter.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll say even like 33. Really,
that's the prime.
34, yeah. Like you can really still, you know, put out a good product. At that age as a heavyweight. But
Foreman pushed it till he was 50. George Foreman.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. All right. Now this is where we hit the hype train. Boxing aficionados, boxing purists. I mean, you could just hit pause, and if you want to have banter, we can have banter. This is the fun part. Let's talk about Floyd Mayweather versus Logan Paul, fellas.
Oof.
I'm ready.
and it's on a Sunday. That's not even tradition. It's on a Sunday, not a traditional boxing day for fights.
Man, I did not even know that. Wait, that's this weekend.
That's sacrilegious for boxing. Yeah.
Is it Hard Rock? Miami Dolphin Stadium?
I think so. It's crazy.
That is crazy.
On a Sunday.
Who's broadcasting? Is it Triller?
I think Showtime has because I've been seeing them pushing the promo. Showtime they work with Floyd. I did Floyd Mr. Showtime like with the 24 40 whatever that thing that 40, he's the one who started. Yeah, Floyd is a smart businessman. But for this one, guys, I just don't even know what to say.
Man, look.
This is real life. You got to say that out loud first. This is real life. This is actually happening.
Wow.
So I'll put it like this. So we look at
our greatest legend, one of our greatest legends.
He's had about
a YouTuber, bro. This is like crazy.
How many recent exhibitions he had? So we had the Conor McGregor exhibition where who was an actual fighter, but not a boxer.
But that was a professional sanctioned fight, which is come on, man, that counted for him.
He carried him. He carried him to the eighth round and then finished him.
Yeah.
Then he went overseas.
I saw that video,
against
man.
the Japanese cat.
That dude was little. That dude, Floyd is small. Floyd is like 5'5".
And he cashed in.
This dude, Floyd looked big. He looked bigger than that dude. That dude looked small.
He went overseas and handled that dude in round one. Like just didn't even give him no time.
He was ready. Wow.
Man.
Predictions.
Yeah, the meme that came out of the build up for this fight is so funny with Paul stealing Floyd's hat.
Right.
That was genius. Got your hat? That was genius. These kids, man, I have to give it to them. They are marketing gurus, man. They know how to market themselves. I have to say this. Most people that really get it from the mud may hate it, especially fighters that are put in the work will never get a payday like this. Fighters that are like in their 50th fight with amazing records, will never get the same payday these dudes are getting,
right?
Which sucks. But again, it also shows you that something in boxing that we grew up on was the marketability. That's why the UFC is winning, is because a lot of these great boxers don't have personality.
Yeah.
They don't know how to do it. Like, I know it's a PC world that we live in, so the margin of being a shock jock is you cannot say what the stuff Mike Tyson was saying. You know, I don't even want to repeat it on a microphone. But that's so fights. The whole slapping a dude on a press conference. I think he bit Lennox Lewis's leg or something.
Right.
He did some stuff, right?
Yeah.
And really, I don't know how Lennox Lewis became as big as he is, because his personality was not there.
Dry.
He was not there.
He was
very soft-spoken.
UK heavyweight.
Right.
I mean, he was a great fighter. Probably arguably one of the best, but like still,
one of the best jabs of all time.
If we look at these new fighters, besides AB, who really sells a fight?
If you want to look at Americans, I mean, none of them. They're not even making the fights. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, I wouldn't know. Like, no one like Tyson Fury.
Yeah.
Wilder, I guess. Would you say Wilder?
True enough. Yeah.
Wilder only did one thing that made him sell the fight. It was till this day.
Right.
to this day, that was him really capturing the golden days of boxing, where
he
before
made
the
a
fight there had
tagline.
to be some press movements, right? But really, yeah, you're right. It's Tyson Fury. Joshua is Eddie Hearns speaking, and Joshua is quiet. Eddie Hearns is responding back to him, and like he's really his mouthpiece. And Wilder, he was never really. I mean, he did that one thing where he said, "I'll kill a person in the ring," right? He wants to catch a body.
Oh yeah.
He said that. I think, and that kind of wrong headline.
That's a wild boy.
And they were like, "Bro, you can't be saying that. it's not like I'll eat your kids like Tyson was saying."
Yeah.
Man, I think that's what's really hurting the pockets of, and this hurts me saying this, of a Crawford or a Al Spence.
Oh,
yes.
Yeah. That fight definitely needs to get made, man. Like,
but who's gonna sell it? I mean, outside, because really for the money, it's not for us three. It's the people outside boxing that were the reasons why Mike Tyson watched fighting. My mom watched Tyson fight.
Yeah.
I mean, he was an international superstar. He was the classic Michaels from the 80s, like Mike Jack, Michael Jordan, Mike Tyson. Like, who can really transcend besides AB? I mean, AB doesn't have the skills to pay those type of bills, but he does have the personality.
Yeah, and ain't nobody trying to see him, so at all. And with these two, you know, the fan bases around the cities, like Omaha, I know people from Omaha and Dallas, they're like real fanatical. But you're right, like as far as bringing in outside viewers to drive those pay-per-view numbers up, it's probably not there, which is probably why Spence is fighting Pacquiao, and now Crawford. But the best should fight the best.
And that's why Floyd Mayweather created a new age package of how to sell, because you can use the internet, you could use being the villain, like some wrestling type of stuff when he moved from Pretty Boy to Money. And people like Conor McGregor did it, and old dude Dana White was like, "Oh, this is my cash cow. Conor may not be the top fighter, but he's gonna get the looks." And Conor stepped on that magic carpet, and it took him to 100 million, bruh.
And then he leveraged that for the whiskey, sold the whiskey for like almost 800 mil, like crazy, like
smart,
Be hard for him to get back in the ring.
Yeah, smart, and that's what I want. I want for the boxing. That's why MMA, unfortunately, is slowly taking the fans, the casual fans, because we talk about the 7-4. I'm not even doing my math right, but you know, there's the loyal fan who comes back and buys your stuff. No, it's the wait. Anyway, there's the mix. There's the person who's a fan. There's the person who's just doesn't care and doesn't want to ever even watch boxing. And there's a person who's just following, get along to, just getting along. Like, what are the boys doing? Oh, they have wings and whatever. They're not going to get into all Spence because they don't understand the technique of that. They want to hear somebody telling them, "Oh, he talked about his mama. Oh, I'm going to watch that." Oh, he did this. And that's what these little dudes, the Logan brothers, are good at. Like, they're good at capturing the teeny boppers on TikTok.
True enough.
TikTok, YouTube.
And saying, "Oh, this guy, our hero from Nickelodeon channel is fighting the greatest boxer of all time. Let's go watch it."
So what do y'all think about like the criticisms of like the boxing purists, the ones that may have turned it off already? Like about them saying like you're making a mockery of the sport.
it is. Like Logan Paul hadn't done it. He hadn't done anything to deserve to step in the ring to even spar.
To even lace Floyd, man.
You know what I'm saying?
To lace his gloves.
It should be a privilege. And I'm not. This is coming from somebody that's not even like a Floyd fan like that. You know what I mean? So,
right. What do you think, Strap?
For the purist, I understand. I empathize because now you're looking at revenue that could have been used to help develop a young boxer being spent on, because everything is it's not really about the skills of boxing, it's the end product, it's the revenue, it's the ads, it's all these different deals that are being put out there are going into exhibition people. So now next day LeBron James retires, is going to box and he's going to make the most money ever because of his brand name and how he is. It's the same thing as hip hop. It's not a talent show, it's a popularity contest. So anybody that steps in the ring is just spectacle worthy, and it's like the circus. Like, yeah. And I'm accepting it because, to be honest, I want to see a non-boxer fighting a boxer so they could get washed and they could take their butt back home, right?
Right.
But if something might happen and the boxer gets washed, we'll have this other conversation another time on how things are going. But I don't see this. Trend happening. I don't see it happening.
It's not happening.
Woodley versus Jake Paul. Tyron Woodley and Jake Paul have agreed to fight.
That might be the turning point. No, that might be the stop sign for all of this, right? You know what I mean? That might be it right there.
Easy biting more than he could chew. You should have stayed with celebrities, right?
Yeah, that one there. Willie really got hands.
No, Willie got hands, but
if he getting paid though, that's the end of the day, man. At the end of the day, he's getting a check. He leverages YouTube stuff into fighting. Oh my God, like you can do anything. You can do anything. So,
I mean, Tyron Woodley ain't Ben Askren.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah. Hey, but you know what? That's where the money is in boxing, though. I know the popularity is in MMA.
Yeah.
It is, more enjoyable to watch at times.
Yeah.
But the money is still made in boxing.
Absolutely.
And I think that's why you do see the what was it, as I ask you, and buddy about to get in here with the other brother. That's why you see it, because there's money to be made.
Right.
That's it.
Here's the other side of that token, because we talk about how UFC is more popular, gaining popularity. The unfortunate truth is that this may bring the casual eyes to boxing. Absolutely. It's going to bring the casual eyes to boxing.
Absolutely.
Now, whether or not they stay, who knows? But
yeah, and you guys are right. You're absolutely right. If I was a guy who was watching trends and I'm seeing this big spike of UFC going up and getting the casual fan for now, and it's not sustainable because it's such a monopoly that you only have the UFC, you have Bellator, are the two big dogs, but fighters really eat off what they have. They eat on what they kill, right? So looking at how free of a market boxing is, and you don't only have one champion, you could have multiple champions, and there's multiple ways on leveraging on that because advertisers just want to be around winners. So you're creating more winners while the UFC only got one person for one thing, right? And it's all like monopolized, and it's a monopoly controlled by the Dana Whites of this world. And he's the one who selects the fights. He's the one, which is good because he's an amazing marketer. He gives us the fights that we want. But the problem is this: for the fighters, how much will they stick to that motto of being, like somebody somebody goes hunting, kills a wild boar, and he just gives you a little piece of the meat when you probably the person chasing it to hold it down.
Yeah.
Or would you want a 50-50 split, like how boxers like Floyd Mayweather's broke out of having different promoters to like getting even almost like seats? I think he was getting in-venue money. Floyd was getting some of that too.
Yeah, because
when he negotiated that, also TV rights, he was getting that bag, and then he was getting also the after bag, like depending on what promos are put during his fight or whatever companies are throwing. Like, it's ridiculous what Floyd did to that market of boxing.
I'm about to do it again.
Hey, man.
Well, this is what other leagues have that I guess the UFC don't have is a union. Got to unionize.
Got to, and really continue to press. Like, I know fighters like Conor, if they can, reach back to, build a bridge for fighters to have other marketing opportunities and things like that. Because something that Floyd's done, I feel like, put other people on, but Dana White not about that. He trying to keep the money. So, but boxing, I mean, like I said, it's just bringing casual fans. I don't want to go past this, but Ocho Cinco's fighting on his undercard too.
Yeah, he's
so
fighting a real boxer though.
Yeah, so that's like
he's fighting a real boxer.
But you're in the NFL.
That I don't know about that. That I don't know. It looks bad. I don't know.
Hey, he could get knocked out. But we're gonna watch.
He's gonna fight a real fighter.
Oh man!
Hey, we're gonna watch though. So, hey, he talk a lot of mess. So you like to see that translate into the ring, but fighting can humble you.
Yeah,
for sure.
All right, fellas. I think we come into the conclusion of our show. It's been great.
Yeah, man.
It's probably gonna be our longest show.
Right. Hey man, we had company, so I put my nice shirt on today.
I mean, I tried to. I mean, the makeup team was slow today, so they didn't patch me up, so I didn't get the shave that I wanted. They cut my hair. I'm receding, so
right.
Just had to protect my cranium.
Hey, do it like me, bro. You almost there. Hey, keep it clean.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, it's been another great episode of Who's Fighting.
Hey.
Shout out to our guest. Salute to you, Kam Gee. Thank you for sitting down with us virtually.
Appreciate it.
You want to plug your social media or anything?
Absolutely.
Oh yeah, man. Hit me up on. I'm on IG mostly at Kam Gee the Coolest. That's KMGTHE Coolest. You'll find me on there. Posting about my whatever I'm doing.
Bet.
So yeah, man. We got it.
That's what's up.
Kam Gee the Coolest.
Hey.
Yeah. LT.
Yo.
Who's fighting?
Who's fighting?